robots and I was on my way to work home to pick them up. And my vehicle is still up on...
In this video, we are going to cover the most heated interrogation our team has ever seen. The year was 2017. In a small Canadian town, a young escort responds to a Craigslist post that requested her to meet a man at his home in the small town. The girl jumped in her car and drove to the destination, where she is met with closed gates and an eerie silence. As soon as she got out of her car, a masked man with a shotgun ran towards her from the woods. She panicked, got back in her car, and drove away as fast as she could. She then hears a gunshot coming from the back of her car. The shotgun shells hit her rear tires. She then loses control of the vehicle and crashes into a bridge. She gets out of the car and starts running. The next morning, the neighbor finds the car, which was still running. They called the cops immediately. A pair of pink slippers and footprints were found at the scene, alongside bullet fragments in one of the rear tires. Thankfully, police were able to track down the young lady, and she cooperated fully. It took 2 whole months before Curtis finally got charged with the crime, and police got a search warrant for the property of Curtis's family farm. That was when they discovered the horrifying remains of missing 18-year-old Tracy Genero, another missing escort. After this discovery, Curtis Sagmon was brought into the interrogation room.
Did you have a history of...
What? It's called like maybe four escorts in my life, so that's a fucking history.
Okay, well, thank you for telling me that.
Right.
5 minutes ago you were denying having any history.
Right, no, I didn't. We talked.
So that's what we're trying to figure out here, Curtis. We're trying to figure out if you're guilty of this. You know, like...
We're trying to figure out. I haven't called any escorts to my fucking house. Okay? I haven't met anyone here for a few fucking years. Okay?
Curtis worked on a construction site where a former colleague described him as an alcoholic cowboy who had little to no concern for safety.
A few pictures to show you here as well. I wanted to show you this ad. Do you recognize that ad? So one thing that we're going to have to do when we search your phone, we're going to look for any type of application that you may have used that would alter the appearance of a phone number, that kind of thing. Do you ever hear spoofing? Where if you use your phone to dial another one, but somehow manipulate the phone number to appear differently?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So we're going to be examining your phone for that. Have you ever used that type of application?
I'll take the lawyer's advice.
Okay.
I'm just tired right now.
I understand that. I think you have used one of those applications. And I think you used it when you contacted. Did you meet with that night?
I haven't met anyone.
Curtis had a few minor run-ins with the law, but no major criminal charges, before this one, of course. But 4 other women had gone missing the last 2 years in the same area where Curtis resides.
Part of what told me, Curtis, is that when she arrived she noticed that the gate was locked. And when she got out of the gate, or when she got out of her car to go unlock the gate, somebody appeared behind her. And he had his face masked, and he was wearing some type of, the way she described it, may not have been without procedure. So she provided some more descriptions of the clothing. And she described the male that was holding a gun, came out of the woods. Now initially the male wasn't pointing a gun at her. He's pointing it up in the air. So I think that's a good thing. It means to me that the person that came out of that woods wasn't trying to kill her. Maybe he was trying to scare her for some reason. And so that's kind of the reason why I'm trying to figure out is why would that happen in the first place? Why would someone come out of the woods to try and scare an escort? I mean, let's call a spade a spade. This girl's obviously an escort. She's coming out to some place that she doesn't really know, and she's going down some dirt driveway. I think a lot of people with common sense may even predict something like that happening. But for whatever reason, the male wasn't shooting at her, he wasn't pointing the gun at her, he was just holding it up in the air. So it means that the person has a conscience. It just means that, to me, something happened to cause that male to do that. And that's what I want to figure out. I know that there's been several escorts that came up to that property, and they claimed to have been directed up there.
A man who wishes to remain unknown said that Curtis was a strange person and not friendly at all.
Barely slug fragments inside the tire. So it means to me that at some point the firearm was discharged. And through canvassing some of the local residents, they heard a firearm being discharged. People that live on that road. If you did contact her, Curtis, and there's another story behind all of this, like I kept telling you, if there is another story behind all this, let us know so we can investigate that. If you didn't do this, help us out so we can clear you. If you did do this, if you did contact her, what happened? Like, I don't know. I mean, we're getting her side of it. And for all I know, something else could have happened that night where maybe you felt the need to defend yourself.
Oh,
Is that I think you have a history with inviting escorts up there to that property. I think that you have a history in being with escorts, and one of which you got into a physical altercation with, or at least that was the accusation. You had a more recent experience with an escort who was trying to extort you for your truck. She claimed that the bill wasn't paid and she was going to steal your truck. And that's when we got involved, the police. We investigated that. I believe that you live close by to that address, have access to
I'm hungry and I'm tired.
and I believe there's going to be a history of you contacting her on that phone. The only thing I don't know is what caused you to do that. I mean, we'll have to rely on the evidence, but the evidence won't tell us what was going on in your mind. Like when we analyze your phone, it'll show us evidence, but it's not going to tell us what was going on in your mind at the time. The only place I can get that from is you. I mean, at the end of the day here, we're not investigating murder, okay? That's not what we're investigating. This escort is fine. She wasn't shot. She was a little scared, but she's not dead.
I haven't discharged the firearm.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't, so.
Okay. But if that's true, we'll find that evidence out. We'll be able to determine that you haven't fired anything. Is there any evidence of anyone else, like any other escorts, that we're going to find out similar information? Have you threatened anyone?
I haven't tried.
Okay.
So I look like a piece of shit.
Well, you don't. So that's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of here. Like, I'll be honest, Curtis, I don't sit this long with too many people, but you seem like a decent guy. You really don't have any criminal record. I think you're probably charged with fraud or something years ago, and that went away. You're never convicted of that. So you have no criminal record. You really don't have that much history with us. You have some in Richmond House, but it's not that bad.
So I'm trying to keep to myself.
I believe you. But something happened somewhere.
I've never seen that girl in my life.
So who would be inviting escorts up to that property? That specific property? Like, who else would do that?
I need to lay down.
27-year-old Caitlin Potts was last seen on February 22, 2016. There are various reports that she was dropped off about 28 kilometers from Curtis's residence. 32-year-old Ashley Simpson and 46-year-old Deanna Wirtz were neighbors who lived on the next road over from Curtis's farm. They were last seen April 30th and July 19th, 2016.
Ever use the computers in the house? Ever?
No, I don't use the computers in the house.
Okay. We've had to seize them under warrant.
Hey, it's fucking my children! I never in the house!
Sit.
What about my mom?
We're here to talk about it. You losing your cool is not helping.
I'm sorry to try. Like I got
Put the chair upright.
sorry.
Curtis, you're upset right now because of one night in jail. Are you aware of the sentencing for a firearms offense? We're taking this really seriously. The minimum sentence for a firearms offense is 4 years in jail. Do you realize that? How are you going to react if you have to go to jail? We're trying to provide you an opportunity here to get ahead of this and provide your side of the story.
I'm not going to jail.
Talk to me about that.
I'm not going to be stuck in a room like that.
Talk to me.
My son had fired a firearm was last year.
Did you meet this girl?
I didn't meet a girl. I did not meet a girl.
Did you text her? Truthfully, did you text her? Yes or no?
I texted a girl.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for telling me the truth. Do you want to shake my hand? Thank you.
But I never fired a firearm.
Okay,
I never threatened anyone.
so what did happen?
Just a great story of my life. I go back in my room.
You don't want to talk about this girl anymore?
I don't want to talk about anything anymore.
Why, just because of your phone? You can't.
I tried to get to work. I got saying I was supposed to go to work without a phone. How am I going to get the phone call to go to work?
Can they call your mom's place?
Like, no, like. And I was gonna go back to my room. There, I told you what you wanted to know. Told you I was. Now you want more. No.
All what I want to know. I want to know
No, Chris.
the whole story. What happened?
Full story of what happened. About what? Unless you really thought that I was stupid, you go for a smoke first. You said, no, talk to me first. So I talked to you first. Right? We shook hands. And when I asked you, please can I go back to my room? We would.
But what was it weird?
Right?
Hi, Curtis. Sorry to interrupt. I'm Corporal Kovacs. I work with Rich. Can you give me a couple minutes to talk to you guys?
No.
Just a couple?
No.
Because I've been watching what's been going on here, and so I watch in another room, okay? So,
So yeah, you're
hold on.
gonna have a good laugh at it.
no, not at all. Curtis, I've heard a lot worse, okay? What I heard today, that I'm not laughing about anything, okay? I understand you live in a rural area. You don't have a lot of people around you.
I don't even have a vehicle.
So it makes you very limited on what you can do out there.
Right? The reason I have a vehicle is because I got a truck you guys out, and I got a vehicle faster because I've been working on my fuck. I was missing 3 road nuts, and I was was on my way to work to pick them up, and my vehicle was still up on job stand because I can't afford to fix it. But I was being nothing but cooperative with you guys. I turn around, I get that. You know? So, you know what?
Curtis, you need to calm down a bit, okay?
I'm sorry that I apologize for losing my temper, okay? This is the way I feel.
I understand you.
No, I'm not. This is it. No.
Okay, Curtis, I can understand why you're upset right now.
I'm sad.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not even upset yet.
We need to calm down then.
32-year-old Ashley Simpson's body was eventually found, and her ex-boyfriend is being charged with her murder. Curtis was then charged for the crime committed on August 28th, but due to lack of evidence connecting Curtis to the remains of Tracy that were found on his property, they couldn't charge him. You need to click the video on the screen right now because it's the craziest interrogation you'll ever see.